Hi, I'm Symphoneers, and today we're opening a box of Secrets of Strixhaven, because this set rules and I wanted some. Shout out to all of the folks that support the channel and make a thing like this possible. Patreon patrons, YouTube members, etc., as well as Card Trader. They didn't sponsor this video directly, but the way that I got this box was trading in a bunch of cards that I had acquired through doing the, Card Trader videos and stuff. So, Card Trader, friend of the channel, or, long-time supporter of the channel. Card Trader 0, great for singles and stuff. Grab your sealed product from your LGS or whatever, support local businesses and etc. And then for all the annoying singles and stuff, Card Trader 0, wee, plugs, capitalism, blah 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 blah. Yeah, no, after I haven't been uploading that many videos to the channel lately. Not strictly an intentional thing. It's been a challenging time. And yeah, a thing I want to do is get a little bit more paper content on the channel. Not necessarily, super gameplay heavy or whatever, but be able to do stuff with paper cards, deck techs, or whatever. Because, it is nice to not be strictly beholden to new set releases, especially when you have opinions about those set releases that are less positive. Me trying to lampshade stuff as diplomatically as possible. That too, and also it's just, I don't know. Those crack packs enjoy the cool and a good set. I'm also hoping that this will function sort of as a set review. Just cause, a Rapier Wit. This is genuinely solid because it cantrips. Blah, 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 blah. Cantripping is excellent. Oh, no face cam or whatever today because I have one good camera and I didn't want to mess around with my phone camera. So I put the good camera on the cards and, Wander Off XL target creature, limited removal, although the thing I want to shout out about Wander Off is that it has a new magic artist doing the art, Elliot Lang. All of Elliot Lang's cards are bangers. They are so pretty. So just something that I might forget to shout it out, but, check out some of the Elliot Lang art and stuff. Deluge Virtuoso. First Opus creature. This is gonna be so slow and rambly and stuff at the start, as I just use this as an excuse to talk about mechanics and stuff. I do like Deluge... I do like Deluge Virtuoso because it's a Frost Lynx that has prowess. Blah 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 blah. I think Opus is a really cool and good mechanic, because a lot of the Opus cards are just, kind of prowess cards baseline. The not 5 mana mode is, totally reasonable, and then you get extra value for big goofy 5 mana spells. And, it's good. Tackle Artist, Orc Sorcerer, also another prowessy thing. Terrafractal, flying, 1/0, X into green-blue. This creature enters with X/1/1 counters on it, and when it enters, you gain 2 life. I feel like I missed this in looking at, Scryfall or whatever. Kind of cool? Not high impact or whatever, to be sure, it's a common, but, I don't know. Just a common that you can sink a bunch of mana into. Common flyer. Hard to be too mad at. Pursue the Past. You gain 2 life, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards with flashback. Whee! Sorcery is tough on Pursue the Past, or it's a hit against it, but I do really like Pursue the Past as far as like a value draw spell goes. Sonar, yes, hell yeah. This is one of the cards I wanted for like Pauper EDH things, maybe, shrug. Another reason why I wanted to actually buy the set is I just thought of like 15 different angles I wanted the cards from. Is like, oh, it has some really good Pauper commanders. It has good like Pauper cards in the 90 at common. It has, you know, cool rares and mythics. I think all of the prepared cards are great, or like really, really interesting and well designed, etc., etc. Sonar enters taps to create a treasure token, activate only if you cast an instant or sorcery, and then the prepared spell Wild Idea lets you tutor for an instant or sorcery. So like sort of a mana dork that can just randomly tutor for things. I think Sonar has a lot of potential. You can maybe do like a twiddle thing with Sonar, making infinite treasures, or you can, I don't know, tutor for Time Walk or something, depending on your format and interests and stuff. So, fun card. Next up we have Emil, Vastlands Roamer. Creatures you control with 1/1 counters on them have Trample, and 4 and a green create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. I like this card too, or I hadn't seen it. Another like fun Pauper Commander-y type of card. I think a lot of the colors, there are like prepared multicolored, there's a prepared multicolored cycle that I think are all great Pauper Commanders, and then I think there are legendary creatures in each color as well, although I'm not 100% on that. Arcane Omens converge, 4 into black, target player discards X cards, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast the spell. I don't really like converge, it's the one part of the set that I am not a huge fan of. I think it's mostly a limited thing. A lot of the cards I think are not super pushed or whatever. Next up we have Social Snub. Whenever you cast the spell while you control a creature, you may copy the spell, and each player sacrifices a creature of their choice. Each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. You have a token, your opponent has actual creatures, you get to maybe effectively wrath the board, and also drain and gain? Seems good. Genuinely solid. Stirring Hopesinger is our rare. 2 and a white for a 1/3 with flying and lifelink and repartee. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Each? Gavin, Daniel. No, Stirring, this is another one that sort of, like, wasn't really on my radar, and that's a good bird. There's a lot of repartee enablers just in this set, and then also recently in, like, Edge of Eternities we have, don't mind a text noise, we have, what is it, Hope or Valor, Honor, put a 1/1 counter on a thing, draw a card for 1 white, which I think will be a great repartee, whatever, enabler for standard, and yeah. Ooh, Sleight of Hand, Mystical Archives too. Mystical Archives, one of the other reasons why I wanted this set is because it's so pretty. Mystical Archives is like maybe my favorite sort of card style or whatever in Magic. So it's like Mystical Archives in every pack? Sure, I'll take it. Sleight of Hand, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. Not mad to get Mystical Archives Sleight of Hand, honestly, because I do have a copy of Sleight of Hand. The one I have is in, like, Italian or something. I grabbed it off Card Trader really cheap for, like, a random Pauper deck tech, so, you know, upgrading it to this, pretty good. I think, wait, no, sorry. This is an uncommon. Original Sleight of Hand's a common. I think everything I said just makes sense. Or is correct. Seize the Spoils as an additional cost to cast the spell. Discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create a treasure token. Happy to have a Seize the Spoils. I don't think I have one, maybe I do. But I am a huge fan of the, like, Pirates Pillage, Bountiful... Whoa, my brain is dying. It's fine. I really like these cards. They're really good in Storm decks, in my opinion. So, you know, down for a... This is a foil, too, if it's not coming across on camera. Down for a foily Seize the Spoils. Into Fields of Strife. Another, like, real, you know, basic reason why I was like, this set looks neat is... the, like, original universities or whatever, tapped for 4 to scry. Tapping to surveil is so much better, and, yeah. Foil Fields of Strife, pretty good, I'll take it. I've been sort of most interested lately in, like, Pauper EDH, not even necessarily because I get to play a ton of it, but I just really like brewing in the format. As I struggle to open the next pack, don't worry about it. Yeah. So the set having, like, loads of good commons and stuff was a thing. I like the Spirit token. I know dwelling on the token is not, like, wildly interesting, but hey Marco, Marco, good art, good deer. Oh, Elite Interceptor. This one is, like, sort of a Thraben Inspector, because Rejoinder, tap or untap a creature, draw a card, you know, it costs the same as a clue. So I really like this from a general sort of, like, value perspective. The spell is worse than a clue in some regards, like things will care specifically about artifacts. It is sorcery, whereas clues can be used at instant speed, etc., but also, hey, it counts as a spell cast, which is relevant if you have prowess stuff, and it targets a creature, which is relevant if you have repartee or whatever. So yeah, I quite like Elite Interceptor. Happy to have one. On Alley Shopkeep. Menace 2/3, gain life? Sure. Draft cards. Banishing Betrayal, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Surveil one. Surveil one enough to make this good. It's not draw a card, which I would really like. But would also, like, they usually put draw a card on bounce at 3 mana, unless you jump through additional hoops. I could see this being, like, actually useful in decks with graveyard synergies, like things that really like the surveil, but anyway. Tenured Concoctor, another, I think this is good in Pauper, I don't know, or like Pauper EDH, just like the insurance clause of whenever it becomes the target you may draw a card, that tends to be pretty good, and then it's also just gigantic 4/5, potentially 6/5. So, you know. Expressive Fire Dancer. Prowessy thing. Also gains also gains double strike? Pardon? I mean, I guess it is on the Opus, the 5 mana thing, but like, 2/2 prowess is not an embarrassing stat line. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's not embarrassing on its own, and then just the double strike is the thing that's making me go like, okay. Another one that I, like, either missed in Scryfall or, like, looking through the set, or did not internalize. Potioner's Trove, another mana rocky type of thing. Group Project. Create a 2/2 red and white spirit creature token. 1 into white sorcery. Flashback, tap 3 untapped creatures you control. This is like the birds one from MH2, right? Probably pretty reasonable. That also a good flashback like that. Vibrant Outburst. Instant with deal 3 to any target. Tap up to 1 target creature. Great removal spell. Keeps winning for some reason. Pestbrood Sloth, reach, uncommon-y thing, limited, A Garrison Excavator. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 spirit creature token. Okay. Oh, it's the good turtle. The kind of, whatchamacallit turtle, the pelt collector or whatever. Or it's sort of also like the Dragon Guard. Oh my god, I'm not going to remember it. Increment, or sorry, 1 green increment for a 1/1, and when it dies, if this had 1 or more counters on it, create a 0/0 fractal with this creature, and put this creature's counters on that token. Pretty good. I guess we haven't hit increment yet, sort of like evolve or whatever, but for instants and sorceries. Cast something with more higher mana value than this thing's power or toughness. Pardon me knocking about. And you get to put a counter on it. I think this Dragon's Guard Elite? I think that's the card I meant to mention. Sorry, anyway. I think this card is quite good. I don't think it's going to be relevant in Standard. Dragon's Guard Elite wasn't relevant in Standard. Maybe the 1 mana helps, but it would be surprising to me if this beat out just like an Ouroboros deck or whatever. Oh, Stargaze. I really like Stargaze. Alright, look at twice X cards from the top, sorry, X black, sorcery. Look at twice X cards from the top of your library, put X cards from among them into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard, you lose X life. I really like the original art on this too, which just has like a bat with stars in its eyes and is very pretty. But then I also like how Stargaze plays in terms of just like giving a black X value deck like a thing to dump a load of mana into. So yeah. Don't mind getting a copy of Stargaze. Foily Tenured Concoctor. Ooh, Full Art Island. This is nice. Theros energy, lands energy in terms of like just a big old symbol. Yeah. I don't know, it's like almost 10 p.m. when I'm recording this, but I did want to get this recorded today because I wanted to open these packs and look at cards and be excited and stuff. New Dive Down. I didn't realize that this is just like new Dive Down. Cool. Shattered Acolyte. Great. These are always cards that are more powerful than they look. This is not as good as like Cathar Commando or whatever, 3/1 flash with this ability, but always solid. Going to be like amazing in Limited. Cathar Commando is just like a thing you can play in Eternal formats or whatever. Masterful Flourish, protection-y thing. Tome Blast. Tome Blast deals 2 damage to any target, and it has flashback for 4 into red. Sorry, it's 1 into red to cast it normally. I like Tome Blast. I don't know if it's going to be like OP backbreaking or whatever. Like it's a little bit worse than Royal Eruption, but Royal Eruption was real good. Sorcery, deal 3 to any target, 1 into red, with no flashback. So I'm very interested in seeing how much the flashback matters for getting value out of Tome Blast. Happy to have a copy, anyway. Noxious Newt, this set's Death Touch Mana Dork. Wilt in the Heat. Instant for 2 red and white. Costs 2 less if 1 or more cards left your graveyard. Deals 5 to target creature and exiles. Limited removal. Woo! Mind Roots. This is another Elliot Lang art. Yeah, this is why I'm not going like too close to the camera most of the time. 1, a black and a green. For target player discards 2 cards, put up to 1 land card discarded this way onto the battlefield tapped under your control. Oh, this is actually quite good, isn't it? Because one of the traditional ways that you, like, make a mind rot bad is discarding land cards. And this goes, if you do that, I ramp. And you know what? Solid. Or pretty good. Pretty interesting, anyway. Flow state, the thing that people misread as expressive iteration. One into blue, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. If there is an instant card and a sorcery card in your graveyard, if there is an instant card and, not or, and a sorcery card in your graveyard, instead put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. It's still very good, to be clear, just, I haven't watched that many, like, set reviews or whatever, but everything I have seen, every analysis of this I've seen, people have not properly read the, restriction clause for making it draw 2 cards, so yeah, just wanted to really hit that and be like, yep, in like Spellslinger decks or whatever, sure, it will be great. Just, you know, you have to be in those decks. Dual Tactics, single red for a sorcery, deals 1 damage to a creature and it can't block this turn. Flashback for a generic and a red. Limited? Why? I play a card like this a bunch, and I'm struggling to remember it. It's like Kaladesh. The reason I play it is it's a 1-mana red cantrip, though. And I feel like this not cantripping is rough for, like, constructed play. Zombify. Oh, a classic. Not like, you know, OP or anything, but I like this treatment. I hadn't seen this art before. And, yeah, just very good Mystical Archives art. It's Zombify, return a thing to the battlefield. Whee! Ooh, run behind. Sorry, foily run behind. And a Spectacle Summit for more of that sweet surveil action. Speeding up a little bit now that I don't have to, like, fully talk through everything. Brog Banemaker, Death Touch. Look at that. Sorry, 1/1 Death Touch that can pump with no restriction, no once per turn on this frog. This frog is going to kill people in limited, isn't it? Like, oh boy. Yeah, this is actually like a surprisingly powerful 1-drop. We've got a Chase Inspiration, an Interjection, standard, like, limited pump. The Mass Mindful Biomancer has the once per turn restriction. A Strife Scholar, 2 and a red for a 3/2 Orc Sorcerer with Ward, pay 2 life. It enters prepared, and it can awaken the ages for 5 and a red, create 2 red and white spirit creature tokens. Limited, probably, yeah, maybe Pauper EDH. I'm interested. Don't mind my computer making noises. A Stadium Tidal Mage for 2, a blue, and a red. It's a 4/4. With when this enters or attacks, you may draw a card. If you do discard a card, we love to loot. We love looting on a big lad. Imperious Ink Mage. 1, a white, and a black. For a Orc Warlock, 3/3 with Vigilance. When it enters Surveil 2, we love value. 3/3 Vigilance with an ETB. Killian's Confidence, a white and a black for a sorcery. With the target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and draw a card. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you may pay white-black hybrid or Zav hybrid. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. This is really good. I think I have a giant card trader order coming in with a bunch of Pauper EDH cards. And I think I have a Killian in there because Killian is great and like a cool Pauper EDH commander. I'm working on making a Pauper Cube. I don't know if I've said that on the channel before. Stop by the Discord if you want to hear me talk about things like making a Pauper Cube more often. Anyway, this seems very good, not legal in Pauper for the sake of me talking about Pauper stuff, but I will probably try to play this in Standard or something because that's value. I guess it's pretty expensive to make it like cantrip and grind value, but there's a card I'm thinking of it working with, which we might get to at some point. Anyway, Blazing Fire Singer, 2 and a red for a 2/3 dwarf bard that enters prepared, and it just has Seething Song as its prepared spell. 2 and a red, add 5 red. So it's sort of like a one-shot mana dork or whatever. There's a couple cards like this that I don't know if they get into actual constructed storm lists, but they feel like they should, maybe? Question mark? Ooh, Prismari Charm. Good one. Why did I say it like that? Good one, Prismari Charm. Ooh. Blue and a red for an instant with Surveil Tooth and draw a card. Deals 1 damage to each of 1 or 2 targets. You cannot deal 2 to the same target like Electrolyze. That is not how that mode works. Thanks, this is Reading Comprehension Corner. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Yeah, Prismari Charm, very good, happy to have it. And the rare Geometer's Arthropod, a green and a blue for a 1/4 Fractal Crab. Whenever you cast a spell with X in the mana cost, look at the top X cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Oh, pretty bulk up. It's a pretty bulk up. I like bulk up. I use bulk up to kill people in Standard. You know, just on a big bird or whatever. On a slick shot show off. Yeah, bulk up. I do have the 2-drop that looks like one of my friends. That makes Drakes. Drake Hatcher? I think, Drake Hatcher also loves bulk up because it scales the power really effectively, and you get a bunch of Drakes out of Drake Hatcher. So yeah, happy to have a bulk up. I do actually have a Drake Hatcher in paper, so that's fun. Foily Mage Tower Referee. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. I don't know if this is a Patchwork Automaton. It's probably not, but I do like this card. The fact that it makes me go, could you be a Patchwork Automaton is like fun and interesting. Patchwork Automaton, excellent card. For artifacts decks. I'm probably not going to do a terribly good job editing this video or dash cards on screen when I talk about them. We'll see, maybe I'll care enough. This is mostly supposed to just be like a chill video that I can upload because I haven't uploaded anything in 2 weeks or whatever. Spirit token. Good spirit. And then we have, I guess I haven't been checking, I definitely haven't been checking I've just assumed they're ads or whatever on the back, but I should look for the double-sided tokens. Run Behind, limited removal, Rehearsed Debater, Repartee, yep, Reach Haste on the Embermare, one of those stat lines that is not thrilling but will kill people in at least limited. Barrage, generic and a green for an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. If you've cast another instant or sorcery spell this turn, then it deals damage equal to its power up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. I don't like this card just based on templating, and I think that green fight spells are uniformly unplayable outside of limited. So, that's a thing. Oh, Page is wild. Page Loose Leaf, 2 generic for a O2 legendary artifact creature construct. I believe this is the first Pauper Commander, colorless Pauper Commander that's not a Universes Beyond thing. So that's fun, question mark? I don't know, that's trivia anyway. And you can tap to add a generic, and Page has Grandeur. Discard another card named Page Loose Leaf. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an instant or sorcery card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So I think the odds are like 99% Page is just like a totally acceptable mana rock or mana dork or whatever. Just like, you know, a thing that some decks you can play in a black deck to have a mana dork on too. And you're like, hey, all my friends love Craig. Woo! Iron Craig, the mana rock. Anyway, the Grandeur ability does make the combo player in me go like, ooh, is there going to be some deck that uses the Page Grandeur ability to do something degenerate? And probably not. Probably not, but again, I do really like that there's that little like, oh, this card is interesting. They could have made it a boring mana rock, or like mana dork or whatever, and they didn't. Scolding Administrator, 1 and a black for a 2/2 dwarf cleric with menace and repartee. Whenever you cast a thing that targets the thing, 1/1 counter. When this creature dies, if it had counters on it, put those counters onto up to 1 target creature. Neat. Seems good in limited. I feel like when I say good and limited, it sounds like I'm being dismissive or whatever. No, it's nice for things to be good and limited. I play limited. I don't know if I'm going to play a lot of limited this set. I think I will be trying to free-to-play Arena moving forward. I don't want to have to care about Arena sets. I want to be able to pick and choose. The thing I really want is to have enough paper cards, like enough of a base collection or whatever, that on sets moving forward, I can buy like a couple singles and that can be enough to make videos or whatever. That would be great. That would be cool and good. Anyway, stand up for yourself. 2 and a white for an instant with destroy target creature with power 3 or greater. Is that, instant is good. It's probably not good in a, like, standard or constructed sense, but anyway, Proctor's Gaze. 2, a green and a blue. Return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. Bounce and ramp? Is this better than it looks? Probably not, but the fact that it's non-land permanent is relevant, and not just creature or whatever. Like, this is a way to deal with the Demon Room, or other tricky enchantments or whatever for a Simic deck. I don't know, interesting. Anyway. Charging Strife Knight, 2 and a red, haste, discard a card, draw a card, whee! Vastland Scavenger, this goofy motherfucker. A generic green for a 4/4 bear druid with death touch. That's a big bear. Why is that bear so big? This creature enters prepared, and the prepared spell is Bind to Life, an instant with mill 7 cards, then put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. So another, like, goofy combo card thing. Probably too slow for standard, but a fun card. Anyway. Like, goofy motherfucker or whatever I said, brackets affectionate. Ooh, Duty Beyond Death. Yes, this one is so pretty. I like it so much. 1 and a white for an instant. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, and creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Just genuinely, like, solid protection spell. Additive evolution is the foil. Make a thing? Make a 3/3, sorry, I'm just reading this for probably the first time. Make a 3/3 fractal when this ETPs, and then on combat, something gets 1/1 counter and vigilance. I have been, combat training or whatever 3-mana versions of this have been surprisingly playable in the past. They don't come with their own body. Again, standard is cooked, so this is way too slow for standard, but, kind of fun card, kind of interesting. Yeah, that's another reason why I've been kind of, off of, I don't know, doing arena gameplay or whatever. Is just standard is a lot right now. I really miss 2-year standard, or standard being as small as 4 sets or whatever, or 5 sets. Yeah, sorry, did I have more to say about that? The thing I kind of want them to do is do a, make a new format with 1 in, 1 out, that is 4 or 5 sets big, and, maybe plus foundations, bonus points if it's just universes within sets, because I would like that. They will never make that format, but I think it would be cool. I can, try to the secret that into existence. Anyway, Sneering Shade Rider. 4 and a black for a 3/3 Vampire Warlock. When it enters, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Bad Gary is probably, still honestly okay. In Pauper Commander, or whatever. Landscape Painter. 2 into 1, you can draw some things? Sure. An okay 2-drop. We've seen Rapier Wit and the Newt. Embrace the Paradox, draw 3 cards, put a land card onto the battlefield. This is another one that I'm this probably would have been playable in Standard a few years ago. I don't think that it's quite there now. Borrowed Knowledge, Sorcery. Oh, right, this one. Discard your hand and then draw cards equal to the number of cards in the target opponent's hand, or discard your hand and draw cards equal to the number of cards discarded this way. A, fun, weird wheel, sort of, kind of. It has options. Aaron, Deathbloom Botanist. 2 and a black for a legendary creature, Vampire Druid, Pauper Commander. Da-ding! With Death Touch, it's a 2/2. Whenever a creature you control with power or toughness 1 or less dies, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This is good. Just solid, kind of aristocrats effect. Everything you're playing in an aristocrats deck is going to be a little garbage trash creature, so, Aaron's going to work on all of it. Has some of the, Ellis Ill core equity of just, being an annoying 2/2 Death Touch. So, solid. Pauper Commander, Is it good enough for Standard? It would definitely be interesting at 2 mana. At 3, it might be too slow. Daydream. Happy to have a blank card. Sorcery, exile target creature, then return it with a 1/1 counter on it, and flashback for 2 and a white. Very solid. I like it. Do we have more rares? I think we might have multiple rares this pack. Our first rare is Harmonized Trio, a Merfolk Bard Wizard with abs. Don't worry about it, or do. It's a 1/1, tap to untapped creatures you control. This creature becomes prepared, and then the prepared spell is Brainstorm. So, I think this card is mostly bad, or mostly not that playable in Standard, or whatever. Cool and good in a token stack in, Commander or Brawl or something. The thing I think this wants to be paired with in particular is there's the Merfolk enchantment, like Deeproot Pilgrimage or something, that whenever a Merfolk becomes tapped, it makes a 1/1 Merfolk creature token, and just pairing this with that seems like, mwah, chef's kiss, the intended use case. So, you know. Next up, we have Vicious Rivalry. 2, a black and a green. Oh, this is the Toxic Deluge or whatever, or like Toxic Deluge Plus. As an additional cost to cast the spell, pay X life, destroy all artifacts and creatures with mana value X or less. Very good. Very, very good. Happy to open this. I didn't look up too many card values or whatever before recording. I just looked up some of the Emerituses or whatever, because they're like the big pull I would be sort of excited about. I assume this also has to be probably worth something, just because of Commander and the fact that this hits Soul Rings and stuff. But, so yeah, neat. Oh, now I know this one. I know this one is a good pull. Stock up. 2 into blue, look at the top 5, put 2 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library. Yes, I like it. I like this card. I assume it's worth, or like probably going to be worth a bunch. And it's very good. I don't have a stock up of my own, so, you know, maybe I will actually keep this. Oh, yo, yes, yeah, oh, it has rendered me, I believe the legal term is, pogging. It has me pogging. The Dawning Archaic, 10 generic for a 7/7 legendary creature avatar, costs less for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard, has reach, and whenever it attacks you can recast an instant or sorcery for free. This card is sick. I hadn't seen this alt art, and it's foil and full frame and so pretty. Oh, hell yeah. This rules? Hey, this rules. Sick. There's still a bunch of the box left. And there's some other stuff. Yeah, okay, cool. I thought the stock up, I was all chuffed about the stock up, and then we hit, full art foil mythic. Cool and good. Yeah, okay. Oh, sick. I can, yeah, like I said, I have no idea what anything's worth, but that has to be, I shouldn't even focus on, like, cash money, that's just a cool as hell pull. And that's neat. I am happy for the pull being cool. Honor-bound page. 3 into white for 3/3. Oh yeah, this is the one that jumps a thing, forms favor, sorcery. +1/+0 and flying. This will kill you in limited. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Last gasp. 1 into black for a target creature gets -3/3 until end of turn. Instant. This probably doesn't get into pop or EDH, right? Because there is Wither and Bloom, that's this, but also it has a graveyard cast mode. But decent, or like, not embarrassing, maybe it gets into pop or EDH just as like redundancy for Wither and Bloom. Anyway. Muse's Encouragement. 4 and blue, instant, create a 3/3 red elemental creature token with flying, and it has Surveil 2. Surprisingly good? Question mark? 5 is like a little much, but instant is meaningful. Instant does a lot there. We have the Good Newt again. Rabble Rouser, Rousing Rabble. 2 into red, 1/4. Exile another mana dork in red. Sorry, I should read this properly. When it ETBs, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card, and exile a card from your graveyard, add red. When you do, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. This is like 3 cards combined? Like, Looter plus Mana Dork plus Pinger? This is going to be like a real workhorse lorehold card in draft, isn't it? It does a, like, surprising amount for common. It's not standard playable or anything, but does a lot. Has a lot of words on it. Oh, the mascots, yes. Spirit mascot, red and a white for a 2/2 Spirit Ox. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. So, like, you exile a thing with this lad, you Spirit Ox and get a counter on it, you ping them. Welcome to the circus of value. The mascots, I think, are great. The end of sentence. They're cool and good. If nothing else, Pauper EDH playable. Wild Hypothesis. X and a green for a sorcery. Make a fractal, put X 1/1 counters on it. And Surveil 2. Why does it Surveil 2? I mean, because it's 2026 is the answer. Sorry, X0 Surveil 2 in green? This is really close to, oh god, the, Glimpse Gaze Beyond? Glimpse? I think it's Gaze. Something, be gay, do crime. Now, Surveil 2, like, casting this for 0 is weirdly good? Interesting. Another one I totally missed in, like, skimming through Scryfall or whatever. Sky Coach Waypoint. Ooh, 3 into tap, target thing, creature becomes prepared. Neat. Inkshape Demonstrator. 3 and a white for a 3/4 with Ward 2. And Repartee gets +1/+0 and lifelink. Seems decent. Paradox Surveyor, green hybrid Simic into blue for a 3/3 with Elf Druid with Reach. When this enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a land card or a card with X in its mana cost from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I would play this, maybe, if this were a common. In Pauper EDH. Aha. Oh, Monsieur. Vane's New Dean. 2 into black for a 2/1 legendary creature. Bird, Skeleton, Warlock. Good type line. With flying, and when it enters, make a 1/1 black-green creature pest token with whenever this token attacks, you gain a life. End Infusion. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, return up to 1 target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life you gained. Neat card, good card, I think, or like an interesting build around. Apparently, the deal with this person is that when the Phyrexians invaded, they were just like, oh, you can't Phyrexianize me if I don't have flesh. So they got rid of all their flesh. And, yeah, we love voluntary degloving. Shoutouts to LRR or whatever for informing me of that lore. I would like to read the story at some point, but anyway. Requisition Raid from OTJ, but with Minotaurs? I like having a Requisition Raid. Good, like, workhorse modal spell. Solid little card. Foily Frog. Ooh, Form of Amity. Another one of the Surveillance. I don't think we've hit the Orzhov one yet, so hurrah. We love to have complete sets of things. Spirit Token and an Inkling, it's a little bird. Whee! Procrastinate. Frog. Stun counters. We love a stun counter. I keep wanting stun counters to be good. They're never good, but you know. Alan Historian, when it enters, surveil one. When one or more cards leave your graveyard, this gets +1/+1. Solid. Unlimited. I wonder, I am sort of curious if there will be enough support for like Lorehold leaves the graveyard stuff to do like a commander deck or whatever where it's a main theme. Probably, I assume, especially if you are playing like commander, or dipping into other stuff. Anyway, Melancholic Poet, 1 and black for a 2/2 with repartee. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I think this card is quite good. There is another card that I think is better. Hopefully we'll pull it so I can talk about it. It's the Scorn Mage, if you know the Scorn Mage, but I think between this and the Scorn Mage, you might actually be able to play, like, budget repartee in Standard and kill people. They seem solid. Another Rabble-Rouser, and a Concoctor, and a Visionary's Dance. So the important part of this card is for 2 generic, discard this card, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So this is like an Anticipate or whatever, I'm not going to remember the exact right card, but it's one of those that doesn't require any colored mana, and it can't be countered by most counter spells. You can stifle it or whatever. So that mode of the card alone, really interesting, or like surprisingly powerful. And then you also have the option of actually casting it for, 7 mana to get some elemental tokens with flying. I don't know that this card is incredible, but it does strike me as a card that gets a ton of, like, Lord of the Rings Cyclers equity, which is to say, just stapling, like, nonsense, the game will go long at some point, maybe, sometimes, value on top of a good effect, or like a pretty reasonable effect, makes cards surprisingly playable. So yeah, Visionary's Dance, an interesting one too. Also, maybe there will be a thing that cares about mana values in the graveyard, like this matters for evidence or whatever. This is 7 for evidence, to just randomly name a thing that, like, makes this weirdly interesting. Anyway, Wild Things, the thing that's surveilled. Campus Composer can spit out a flying elemental token. Not too shabby. Mika, Reader of Ruins. We love a himbo. I mean, he's in university and probably, whatever, anyway. 3 and a red for a 4/4 legendary creature. Pauper Commander. Ward, pay 3 life. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. This lad is real good and powerful. Or I mentioned Seize the Spoils or whatever being good in Storm decks. Part of what makes them good in Storm decks is if you copy them, you don't have to discard a card for the copy. So you get just way more value and stuff out of them, and this is good. I am genuinely, pleased to have a Mika to fiddle around with, to build a list around or whatever. Old Growth Educator, 2 a black and a green with infusion, but get some counters, have a 6/6 for 4. Everyone liked that, except your opponent. Suspended Aggression. I can feel, but I cannot, and I am a cat. That is an incredibly niche reference. No, I won't explain it. 1 a red and a white for an instant with exile target non-land permanent and the top card of your library. For each of those cards, its owner may play it until the end of their next turn. So this is sort of Nahiri's Resolve, if I'm thinking of the right thing, which was like deal 5, impulse draw. That was a sorcery, if I remember correctly. I think that was worse than this, is the thing I'm trying to get to, even if I'm not totally remembering that card. The fact that your opponent can replay the thing you exile is not necessarily bad. It's awkward if it has like an ETB or whatever for sure, but the fact that this can hit like non-land permanents and just generally tempo out the opponent is kind of interesting. Repel Calamity. Destroy target creature with power or toughness 4 or greater. We love the little mouse. We love the little Bloomburrow mouse. In the Mystical Archives card art. Yeah. Mystical Archives continuing to be absolute bangers, or just like a very, very pretty oily thing. Another Surveil land. God, we're already almost an hour in, huh? I should probably speed up or whatever, but I don't know, I'm enjoying it. When this creature enters, 1/1 counter, oh, end of turn, just exile stuff. Another lower hold enabler. Adventurous Eater, put a counter on a thing, gain some life. Sure. Rancorous Archaic, converge, Yaki. Ancestral Anger. Oh yeah, Ancestral Anger's back. Hell yeah. I love Ancestral Anger. It is cool and good. I love anything that cantrips, basically. One mana cantrips, big fan. Render Speechless, 2 white-black, sorcery, reveal target opponent's hand, choose a non-land card, discard it. 2 counters onto 1 creature. Repartee enabler, pretty expensive though, so Stirring Honormancer. When this creature enters, look at the top X card, 2 white Orzhov hybrid black for a 4/5 Rhino Bard. When it enters, look at the top X cards for your library, where X is the number of creatures you control. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Surprisingly good? I guess it is 5 mana, which is tough. But just, even if this just looks at 1, that's not horrendous, and if this is looking at like 3, 4, 5 or more cards, that becomes like a very impactful trigger or ability, so interesting. Good blank target, too. Neat Rhino. Growth Curve, a green and a blue for sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, then double the number of 1/1 counters on that creature. They made a Hydra, or that one Hydra, a sorcery. Alright. Sure, Sundering Archaic for Converge. Exile a thing. Converge. Petrified Hamlet. When this land enters, choose a thing. It's the hate land that can shut off, strip, or fetches, or Urza's Saga, or whatever, right? Cool. This feels like a card that might be worth something. I don't care. Informed Incrite. White, and a generic for... Why am I reading it like this? Anyway, 2/2 Human Wizard Vigilance Repartee. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, create a 1/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. It's Young Peasy, or Young Pyromancer in white, which is cool and good. The tokens are better too, and it has Vigilance and an extra point of toughness. I think this card might be pretty good. This is another thing that could go in the, like, standard Scorn Mage deck, the like, Repartee deck that I think might exist. And even if that deck doesn't fully materialize, I don't know, it's a neat one. I like having that. Knockout Maneuver, green fight spell. Even though green fight spell's yucky, Knockout Maneuver, real pretty. Good art. Glorious Decay. These cards, these like modal things, tend to be more important than you would think, or just the fact they've been printing things with like instant speed, exile a card from a graveyard, draw a card. It's real good. Just, mess up Reanimator or whatever and cantrip at the same time. Great. Happy to have a like tech card. Ooh, full art Swamp too. Yeah, neat. How are we doing? How are we holding up, everyone? whoever's still watching this, I have a sip of beverage. That is definitely not a thing that will get me demonetized. I don't think they would actually demonetize you. Sorry, anyway. Rambling. Stone Docent. I think the Stone Docent might be surprisingly good just because a 3-1 that can get additional value for 2 is, like, not too shabby. The fact it has a Surveil on the, like, 1 mana exile this card, gain 2, Surveil. This ability is just, like, a surprising amount, kind of a lot, so, I don't know. Stone Docent is kind of neat. Very solid common, anyway. We've talked about you, follow the Lumerets, look at top for cards, put into hand, reveal 2 or whatever. Oh yeah, this might be good for Pauper EDH. I don't think it will be playable in Standard, although maybe it will be. Maybe there will be like a life gain deck that really likes just, you know, draw 2 creature or lands. I say, like, people don't play life gain forever and always until the end of time. Unsubtle Mockery, deal 4, alright. Limited removal, Pog. Fractal Mascot, we love a mascot here. 6/6 Elk with Trample, enters tap stuff, stun it. Sick. Inkling Mascot, we love a mascot here. White and a black for a 2/2 Inkling Cat with whenever you that's a cat? I guess, I suppose that is a fancy cat. Whenever you cast, whenever you do the thing, Surveil 1? Or, sorry, this gains flying and Surveil 1. Alright, yeah. Not one of the, like, peak mascots, or the one I was probably most excited about is the Boros one or whatever. Ooh, Ennis. Hell yeah. 1 and a white for a 1/1 human cleric. Ennis debate moderator. Legendary creature, Pauper EDH. You can play non-legendaries as your Pauper commander too. I just like to do the legendaries because then they port over to normal commander. Anyway, when Ennis enters, exile up to 1 other target creature you control. Return that to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. At the beginning of your end step, if 1 or more cards were put into exile this turn, put a 1/1 counter on Ennis. Is like the cloud, the Blinksman, whatever. It's a good blink card. Or whatever, like blink card and growth threat, sick, cool and good, happy to have an Ennis. Infirmary healer, gain some life or whatever, sure. We've talked about stuff. Mind into matter, X, a green and a blue for a sorcery with draw X cards. You may put a permanent card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield. Goofy combo card. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Oh, Monstrous Rage. Yeah. I think I still have a copy of Monstrous Rage. Happy to have a pretty Monstrous Rage, though, or like a fancy Mystical Archives Monstrous Rage. Planar Engineering. Sacrifice 2 lands, search your foil Planar Engineering. For 4 basic land cards. Oh yeah, this is the big, I'm totally blanking. Harrow. Yeah. Put them onto the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle. The worst I've ever felt playing Brawl, or like a, 100-card singleton or whatever, was when someone tapped out for a Harrow and then I countered it. Like, I just made them Stone Rain themselves and put them down a card. And it was just like, oh brother. Oh friend, I'm sorry. Paradox Gardens, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's the only time I've been like, I think that Magic played violates the Geneva Convention. You can tell I haven't played, like, Eternal Format, Pox decks or whatever, but anyway. Muse's Encouragement, make a thing. I think we've seen that. Yeah. We can maybe... Oh, we're speeding up. Less cards to read. Have we done this one? Practiced Scrollsmith. A red, a hybrid Boros, and a white for a 3/2 Dwarf Cleric with first strike. When it enters, exile target non-creature, non-land card from your graveyard. Until your next turn, you may cast that card. So it, like, sort of impulse regrowths. There's a better way to say that, I'm sure. But it lets you, or, Snapcasters, or whatever. A thing. Sort of-ish. The spicy thing that this can do that Snapcaster can't is, like, get back artifacts or something. So that's fun. And intriguing. Our Archaic Converge card, yucky. I don't know, I'm already going way too long, so, you know, let me skip some stuff. Rabbit Attack. Oh yeah, the weird, like, Trumpet Blast for 1 into black for some reason. And when stuff dies, draw a card. This card is surprisingly good, just cause you can, like, absolutely ruin combat math and then draw cards off of ruining combat math and stuff. So that's cool and good. Mana Sculpt, the weird or like mana drain but cancel. I don't know, there's a bunch of like fiddly stuff with Mana Sculpt that makes it worse than mana drain. Like it's equal to the amount of mana spent to cast that spell and not the spell's mana value, so if you use this to counter a pitch elemental or whatever, you don't get anything. Maybe it's still good? I don't know. Good talk. Interesting poll. We'll see if it, you know, we'll see if it matters or whatever. Cull of the Week, the horrifying Cull of the Week, as an additional. Oh, sorry, culling the. Oh, this is what I actually wanted, isn't it? Just because it's a ritual. Neat. Right. Where was I? Horrible art. I don't know why, but some magic art will, like, what was it? Thought Scour is another one where even though I'm not like a squeamish person in general, but certain bits of art will make me go like, oh no. It's just like, no, he's a little baby. Oh, don't cull the weak. The weak are cute. Foily Tidal Mage. Anyway, yeah, I've loved all the Mystical Archives cards we've pulled. Because Mystical Archives are cool and good. I think I have a full playset of the Surveil lands at this point, which is nice. Maybe I missed one, I don't know. But we've seen a bunch of them. Welcome to me fiddling with the pack. Doodle-doo. Oh, interesting. Some of the, like, tokens cards or whatever can be little prepared, indicators and stuff. Neat. Huh. I feel like that should be more common. Like, we've opened a bunch already, and this is the first time getting that. So, cool, I guess. Anyway, on to actual Magic cards. We have seen a bunch of things. Pest Mascot. A black and a green for a 2/3 pest ape with trample, and whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. This is good, just a Johnny's Pridemate, or whatever. We love a Johnny's Pridemate. Cough, cough. Homesickness for blue, instant target player draws 2 cards, tap up to 2 target creatures. Okay. Tablet of Discovery. Oh yeah, this one was sort of interesting. When this artifact enters mill a card, you may play that card this turn, and then it can tap to add a red, or tap to add 2 red, spend only to cast instants or sorcery spells. I don't know if this gets into the, like, creatureless burn decks I've been playing over the past year or so, or whatever, but it is real close, or like really a genuine consideration, something to try out. Just because, like, card advantage and tap for 2 is a lot. 3 mana rock's kind of slow, but it does so much for the mana. Lewin, Exchange Student, Pauper Commander, thumbs up. 2 a black and a green for a legendary creature elf druid with when Lewin enters prepared and exile a creature card from your graveyard, Lewin becomes prepared. Activate only as a sorcery. And Pest Friend. Create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this token attacks, you gain 1 life. Lewin, I think, is quite good. There's 1 or 2 interesting cards I'm totally blanking on for Pauper Commander that key off of things leaving your graveyard, like they're commons that generate a lot of value. I will have to look those up and remember what they are. But yeah, Lewin, neat. Oh, this weird thing, Wild Growth Archaic, Trample Reach, 0/0, 2 generic or green hybrid, 2 generic or green hybrid. It's a converged thing, stuff enters, it's like the Rhino from OTGA, sort of. Don't worry about it. Maybe it's good, I'm not super into it. Shared Roots. Oh, Shared Roots, so pretty. Hey girl, why you in that tree? Who you hugging? Why you hugging in a tree? 1 into green, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. This is such a pretty Shared Roots. It's not foil, but it looks really good and pretty. Yeah, okay. Mystical Archives. Woo! Foil Elite Interceptor. And an Island. So anyway, I started cracking packs. I think we've seen most of the tokens at this point. Or potentially all of them. Essence Scatter, welcome back. This was another Elliot Lang, isn't it? Another banger piece of art that will... I don't know if that'll come across on camera super well, but yeah, this is very good. Rehearsed Debater, Seize the Spoils. It is kind of nice. Oh, right, Zealous Lorecaster can return an instant or sorcery from graveyard to hand, another kind of a Narcomancer. There's like a 4-mana version of this card from one of the Innistrades, I want to say, that is actually like weirdly competitive, but just because it gives red and a Narcomancer. At 6 mana, I'm not really expecting this to do the same. It's nice to be able to speed up a little bit, which is what I was saying before I interrupted myself. Primary Research. 4 and a white. When this enchantment enters, return target non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And at the beginning of your end step, if a card left to your graveyard this turn, draw a card. I quite like Primary Research for, like, Commander decks or Brawl or whatever. I think it's really cool in the 100 card. Probably too slow for Standard, but maybe there's, like, a Standard deck that is all 3 or less stuff, and then this is just a 5 that lets you grind infinite value, or, like, you use this instead of Enduring Innocence because you're playing it's just non-land permanent, so you're playing, what, like an egg strategy or something? I don't know. It's a neat one, anyway, is the thing I was trying to get to. Orisa, Tide Choreographer, 4 and a blue for a 2/2 Merfolk Bard, costs 3 less if to cast if you control... words. When she enters, draw 2 cards. Huh. Total toughness 10 or greater. Spiritually, she's like a Kiora. I mean, 1 mana, 2/2, draw 2 cards. Or sorry, not 1 mana, 2 mana. It's, I read it as, yeah, anyway. She seems neat. Very, like, clear or simple hoop to jump through, quite literally, haha. But, and, like, a very kind of linear or simple payoff, but that can be good sometimes. Like, drawing cards wins games of Magic. the game be like that. So, you know, an interesting, or like, not an engine card legendary like some of the other ones we've seen, but not bad. Chelonian Tackle, +0/+10, fight a thing? Sure. Fight spell icky. A Snooping Page, 1 a white and a black for a 2/3 human cleric with repartee. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature this turn, it can be blocked this turn. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose a life. I like this type of card in general. I guess just making things not be able to block is good for, like, pushing lethal. Yeah, sure. This is, what is it? There's, like, Moonglove Extractor and Audacious Thief that are, kind of just this without the repartee ability. Like, attack and draw a card, lose life in mono black. So having a version of this in Orzhov with more text, kind of interesting. Fix What's Broken, 2 a white and a black. For a sorcery with, as an additional cost to cast this spell, pay X life. Return each artifact and each creature with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. Combo card, bwah 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 bwah. It's tricky in that it's not X or less. It's like Ratchet Bomb. You're looking for exactly X, which limits its potential. It's not totally like a, why am I blanking on cards? I'm blanking on cards because it's 10:30 or whatever, and yeah. But an interesting combo card to pull. Another sleight of hand. Alright. Again, this is pretty. I like it. Shopkeeper's Bane, Spectacle Summit. Yeah. I don't think I'll do box opening. I mean, I definitely won't do box openings regularly on the channel. I've done some, like, pack openings in YouTube shorts or whatever. I am kind of enjoying just hanging out, though, or, like, I'm enjoying this more than set reviews, anyway. Being able to, you know, pog about the cool, archaic, and etc. It's neat. Oh, Bear. We love Bear. Studious First Year. Single green for a 1/1 bear wizard that enters prepared, and its prepared spell is Rampant Growth. Great bear. 10 out of 10 bear. This bear is really good. It's a Rampant Growth that can block. What more do you want? Great. Yeah, solid. The fact that this is a common is wild and cool and good. Elemental mascot, our first elemental mascot. 1 a blue and a red for 1/4 flying vigilance with Opus. Opus, get a 1 or a 0 for just a thing, and 5 or more, XL to the top card, play it and stuff. Sure. The vigilance on this flyer is good. I like it when things can block and attack at the same time. Bonus Ennis for emotional support. Essence Knit Scholar, a black, hybrid Golgari and a green for a 3/1 Dryad Warlock. Makes a pest. At the end step, if a thing died, draw a card. Great little value engine. Unlimited. Aha. Artistic Process, 3 red, modal, do a bunch of things card. Fractal Anomaly. Put X11 counters on it, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn. Oh, you could put this in like a Prophecytic Memory deck to just make a giant fractal. Neat. Okay, good talk. That, or like Fists of Flame. I've played a couple of decks that have win cons that are the Fractal Anomaly would like. Applied Geometry, the clone that makes a 6/6 for some reason. Why is it a 6/6? It's wild. You can clone bad creatures that have like a value ETB or whatever, but then, hey, 6/6 or a flyer. And then it's a 6/6. Yeah, I mean, very solid or like interesting clone spell. Ooh, Burst Lightning. Yeah, I don't think I have a Burst Lightning. Or maybe I do. I don't remember. I want to say I did my burn deck before Burst Lightning was in Standard. Yeah, and that's such a good burst light. It's very pretty. A foil, Duty Beyond Death. I'll take it. We love to get foil, the nice foily versions of cards. Not curly or anything yet. I know they can get curlier over time, but I mean, is looking real good, real pretty so far. Oh, how could I forget about Pest Token, the weird dog with the lamprey mouth? Everyone loves weird dog with the lamprey mouth. If you don't love weird dog with lamprey mouth, yes you do. Just look within yourself. Inside you there are two weird dogs with lamprey mouths. This giraffe has increment. Cool story, bro. Tome Blast. Another page. Quandrix Charm. Green and a blue for an instant with choose one. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2, destroy target enchantment, or target creature has base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn. Good charm. A quench that can also disenchant Demon Room or whatever, or do some other stuff. Great. I think it's good. I miss, is it Applied Geometry? It's the fight, it can either counter a thing or be a fight spell. That's a fight spell that I respect and enjoy. And the Lecturing Scorn Mage, single black for a 1/1 with repartee. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. I think this is real good. There's a Homestead Courage-alike in this set, which is just like 1 mana, put a 1/1 counter on a thing, give it Vigilance, and being able, and Flashback, again for 1 mana, 1/1 counter Vigilance, and being able to do that like twice in a turn and make this a 5/5 Vigilance on turn 2, or whatever. Gross. And there's, Honor from Edge of Eternities and stuff, and there's some other support that we've already hit in the, 2-drop that drains, and I feel like there was 1 or 2 other cards that I'm already blanking on, but yeah, it's good. Kirol, another buff history boy, another Pauper Commander. Vampire? He's a vampire? Are you really a vampire? I guess you're like Dracula, you're Widow's Peaking, but I'm not a vampire. Anyway, red and a white for a 2/3 legendary vampire cleric. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, Kirol becomes prepared. And Pack-a-Punch. 1, a red and a white for Millicard. Put 2 1/1 counters on target creature. It gains trample until end of turn. Another thing, the Pauper Commander. Pog Champion. I like all of the prepared uncommons. I think they're cool. Oop, I accidentally skimmed. That's quite the card to almost accidentally skip. Lorehold the Historian. 3, a red and a white for a 5/5 Elder Dragon with flying and haste. Each instant and sorcery card in your hand has Miracle 2. You may cast a card for its miracle cost when you draw it if it's the first card you drew this turn. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Isn't the original Lorehold $1 billion or whatever? I have no idea if this one will also be good, but I mean, all of the Elder Dragons this go around are cool and good. I personally like this Lorehold more than the OG one, having to look at the top 7 or whatever, because I can put more stuff, I can put draw spells and tutor for things, and I can work around this effect in a way that's more interesting to me. Also, 5 is less than 7 or whatever, so yeah. Fan of Lorehold. Have we summoned Dromedary? Recursive creature in white. Or no, we get versions of that occasionally, don't we? Yeah. Hydra Channeler taps for mana, for instance, and sorceries. A Johnny Desmoida. Oracle's Restoration. With Elliot Lang. We love Elliot Lang and Tiny Jodsy. Sorry, I was like double checking. I was looking at the art correctly, and it's like, yeah, blue small Jodsy with robes in front of Oracle. And anyway, brain. Why was I? Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. You draw a card and gain a life. Draw a card. Cantripping. Cantripping is great. This card is cool and good. For any like kind of blitz thing or that like turtle that increments and stuff, that kind of deck. You love to see it. Heated Arguments, deal 6. Bogwater Lumeret. Whenever another creature, this creature counts itself. Huh, I didn't notice that. I just read it as a soul sister. Whenever another thing enters, you gain a life. Or another creature you control enters. Yeah. For some reason, this is so much more fun to me than like the standard 1-drop white soul sister. Thunderdrum Soloist. 1 and a red for a dwarf bard with reach, and Opus. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. If 5 or more mana was spent to cast that spell, this creature deals 3 damage to each opponent instead. Just a very good, like, Kessig Flame Breather type card, which, happy to have it. Like, I love these cards. These little idiot pingers, they are for me. Divergent Equation, XX blue for an instant with return X, up to X target instant or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Divergent Equation? I mean, is this just like getting back time warps or whatever? Probably. It exiles itself, so it's dangerous. Huh. My camera focus a little bit wonky there, sorry. Huh. Interesting? I don't immediately have a home for it, but it's interesting. Witherbloom Charm, a black and a green for an instant with choose one. You may sacrifice a permanent. If you do, draw 2 cards, gain 5 life, or destroy target non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. I think this is the strongest charm, or it's certainly up there. It's very good. Like with how many problem permanents are 2 mana or less. And then also it can just do like a, oh my god, not Village Rites, the other one. Deadly Dispute or whatever. The fact it like has such good modes to pivot between. It's great. Ooh, I like this one because it has a sign in blood. Scheming Silver Tongue, 1 into black for a 1/3 Vampire Warlock with flying and lifelink. At the beginning of your second main phase, if you gained 2 or more life this turn, this creature becomes prepared, and then you can sign in blood. It's neat. I like a card that lets me play more sign in bloods in a deck. Oh, I get a pretty deduce. Yay! I deduce another card that I have, but I am happy to have a prettier version of it that doesn't have Alquist Proft going like, oh, on it. I'm much more into the, like, noir snake detective art thing. It's good. Emil, Vastlands Roamer. Have we hit this one? Yeah, yes we did. Florian Herald. Good mountain, Florian Herald. This feels like an Edge of Eternity's mountain. Brackets, positive, brackets, Edge of Eternity's ruled, so I like that. That was very good. I like how, like, sharp the colors are. Like the just hard shift from the sort of violet, or like the dull violet, to the vibrant red. It's great. And the like white of the sun or whatever is very solid. Excellent command of color. Oh, when things happen, you get stuff. I think we've the bees. I finally opened the bees cuboid colony, a green and a blue for 1/1. Flash flying trample with increment. The bees. This is good. Yeah, I might try to speed up a little bit just because we're an hour and a half in. Foolish Fate, murder a thing, gain some life or whatever. Oh yeah, yeah boy. Professor Delian Fell. Oh, the card is so pretty. Sorry, I should not get immediately distracted by the art. 2, a black and a green for a legendary planeswalker. Delian enters with 5 loyalty, +2, gain 3 life, 0 tick, draw a card and lose life, -3, destroy target creature, and -6, you get an emblem with whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So I don't, this is a like deeply 2020-ass planeswalker or whatever. Like, Delian is not super pushed or anything, but I do like him as a generic value card. I don't have a lot of planeswalkers, so I'm happy to open another planeswalker. Or like add one to my collection. And he is kind of like the 6-mana Garruk from Wilds of Eldraine. And I like that because the 6-mana Garruk was in the second video I ever posted on this channel. I think it's delisted now because I took down a bunch of like low views videos, or like videos that were old and low views. But yeah, I had a deck that was like a bizarre mid-range control deck that had like Clackbridge Troll and Seraph, and I would use Seraph to get rid of the goats so the Clackbridge Troll would smoke people. And some of the top end was the Garruk, and yeah, I don't know. He has that kind of energy to him, which I like. This is like, he's not an unfair card. He's arguably not even a like wildly powerful card by 2026 standards, but I do really like Delian Fell. Spell Pierce, very pretty Spell Pierce. We like a Mystical Archives card. Yay, Spell Pierce. Or yay, Mystical, yep, to words. Oh, a copy token. I don't think I have one of those, so that's a weird thing to highlight, but yeah, full art land. That nice kind of Quintorius full art. I guess that might not be Quintorius, but anyway, I'm getting distracted. More prepared tokeny things. Hydro Channeler, Eager Glyph Mage. When it enters, make a thing. It is 4 mana. Oh yeah, the Osteomancer that can cast Raise the Dead. Pretty solid in limited. Another Ancestral Anger, I will take it. Terramorphic Expanse. Zealous Lorecaster. When this creature enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -4/-4 until end of turn if you gain some life. It's sort of a Ravenous Chupacabra, and that's neat. The Ravenous Chupacabra is good. Startled Relic Sloth, 2, a red and a white for a 4/4 Sloth Beast Trample lifelink. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. So it can be graveyard hate, or it can get stuff out of your graveyard. I'm suddenly flashing back to doing original Strixhaven Limited, and there was some giant sloth in that I think won me a bunch of games. Some other big lifelink sloth thing, which is kind of a fun, very specific callback. environmental was the thing with the stuff. Oh no, sorry, this was when this enters, you may search your library for a card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Say, is it Farhaven Elf? That's the elf? Whatever, it's late. This card is better than it looks, and you should consider playing it in every format. Or I guess not literally every format, like not in, I don't know, vintage or whatever. But yeah, this is a very good value card, unironically. Oh, Archmage Emeritus. Oh, it's very good and pretty. I like it. I do have an Archmage Emeritus, but I am happy to upgrade to pretty full art Archmage Emeritus. This is great. What a good lad. What a good fella. Bletch, Loafing Pest. Generic black and a green for 3/4 legendary creature pest. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on each pest, bats, insect, snake, and spider you control. Oh god, what was the original pest lord? Friends with that pest. I am not going to remember that one's name. Anyway, Royal Treatment. Oh, good little, card from the recent Eldraine. Hexproof, or like good little protection effect. Hexproof, attach roll token. Form of Amity Foily, Snooping Page. Page Deadlock, Snooping, something Deadlock joke. I don't know. I'd like to do more Deadlock on the channel. I don't know, we'll see. I don't have super strong plans for what stuff. Brain? Sorry, careful study, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. If only this was less than 4 mana. Maybe still good in Pauper or EDH or whatever, I don't know. Melancholic Poet and the Bear. We have finally seen enough cards that I can kind of skim. Attacks +2/+0 make a thing. Sorry, this makes a 2/2 on... Oh, it's an enchantment. I thought this was a creature for a second. Target attacking creature gets +2/+0, so the thing can die, but you still get the +2/+0 pump effect. Is this card weirdly good? It might not be pushed enough for present-day standard, but the fact that this is a 2/2 that, like, leaves behind a sort of value effect thing is interesting. The Magic School Bus. Slumbering Trudge. X and a green for a 6/6 plant beast. With this creature enters with a number of stun counters equal on to 3 - X. If it entered with a stun counter on it, tap it. Just a goofy big boy. And I love that for green. Sort of relevant for, like, Great Henge type cards or whatever, like things that get discounted off of creature power and toughness. That's the main thing that it seems fun or interesting to me about it. Aside from that, it's, like, too slow for standard or whatever. Neat. I don't recognize this art at all, so I'm excited. 1, a white and a black for a 2/3 Human Advisor, legendary creature Human Advisor. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. 2, sacrifice another creature. Exile target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard. You may cast it this turn, and mana of any type may be spent to cast that spell. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. Activate only as a sorcery. Commander-ass commander card, but kind of cool? It's so noodly. It's so noodly, but it is very neat. Oh, sure. I'll take it. Oh, Brotherhood's End. Yeah, Mystical Archives. Yeah, I'm low-key evil. No, this is great. I hadn't seen this Mystical Archives art, and it rules. It is cool and good. Rapturous moment. This might be surprisingly good. I'm surprised first time hitting Rapturous moment. 4 a blue and a red for a sorcery with draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. Add blue, blue, red, red, red. This is just another, like, windfall or whatever. It doesn't make treasures, you're floating the mana, but it can do the same type of degen nonsense in terms of, like, copy Rapturous moment. All of a sudden, you're generating a lot more mana for sort of free. So, an interesting card. It might just be too expensive at 6, but, happy to have a copy of it anyway. Do. Run behind and the stone thing and the cost of brilliance. Oh yeah, the sort of sign in blood that puts a counter on a thing, so it's a repartee enabler. Maybe it's good. At 3 mana, or I'm thinking of Pauper EDH, the 3 mana sign in bloods can see play with upside. Although I don't know if 1/1 counter is quite good enough. Maybe it gets there. Who knows? Who could say? Not me. I don't know things. If you think I know things, then you don't know things. Don't know why I've randomly insulted you, dear viewer, who's with me an hour and 40 minutes into this. Anyway, sorry, 3 a green, Elf Druid, Thornfist Striker, Infusion, +1/+0, and Trample. Ward. I read this horribly. Kind of a neat card, though. Good and limited. Yep. Yeah, interesting. Leech Collector. To find you someone who loves you as much as this woman loves this leech. Whenever you gain life, becomes prepared, each opponent loses 2 life, bloodletting, sorcery. I would play this in Pauper EDH if it was a common. Or I guess this could be the commander. I don't know if it's interesting enough to... Each opponent is not bad, actually. Like, just hammering on bloodletting in multiplayer. Anyway, yeah, this is actually a weirdly scary commander card, now that I'm thinking about it. Aren't I? First time each turn? It's a little bit fiddly, but you can do it on each person's turn. Yeah, alright, Leech Collector. Not interesting for standard, but for multiplayer formats, actually kind of a banger, maybe? Encouraging aviator attacks prepared, flying, etc. Antiquities on the loose. Make it to tokens, flashback, and make it to tokens and put onto counters. It's good. Just good value token spell. Yep, love that for us. Restoration Seminar. 5 a white and a white for a sorcery lesson. Return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And Paradigm. Neat. Paradigm, the, like, fixed or better epic. Epic is a, like, F trash mechanic, so I don't... Normally when they revisit mechanics, it's like, come on guys, Cascade or whatever did not need to be quote-unquote fixed. But Epic is like a genuinely bad gameplay experience and genuinely bad game design, so I don't hate them taking another crack at it with Paradigm, which lets you continue to play the game, unlike Epic. Oh, Days, hell yeah. I think I just ordered a Days, or it's, I think I have a Days in my, card trader order. But I don't care, because this Days rules, it's very pretty. Yeah. It's Days, it's a free counter spell. Love that for me. Ink-shaped demonstrator. Oh, I'm just still stuck on the Days because it's so good and pretty. This video could be way shorter if I didn't, like, pop off about every Mystical Archives card, but if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing this video. It's fine. Now, yeah, I don't know, this set, like I think I said at the start, this set rules. It's cool and good. This was the Homestead Courage I referenced. Dig Site Inventory. Yeah, single white, 1/1 counter, vigilance, flashback for 1. This kills people if you weren't around for the recent Innistrad. It, is better than it might look. So yeah, good one. Goblin Glassrite, a generic and a red for a 2/2 Goblin Sorcerer that enters prepared, and it has Craft with Pride for a sorcery that creates a treasure token for a single red. I don't know if this goes in a Storm deck, but it's mana neutral with Burgi, so question mark, question mark, question mark. Maybe you can do some degen garbage with this. Or maybe it's just bad. Oh. Glorious Decay we've seen. Yeah, Lore Hold Charm, have we seen this? Each opponent sacks a thing, return a small thing to the field, or 1/1 trample for all your stuff. Another very good charm. I'm happy to have more of the charms. This can pump stuff. Ooh, I've gotten at least one Emeritus. A 2 and a green for a 3/4 Elf Druid with Vigilance, and this enters prepared. Whenever this creature attacks, if you control 8 or more lands, it becomes prepared, and the prepared spell is Regrowth. I mentioned I looked up how much the Emerituses were. This is not one of the, like, huge cash money ones. It's like $5 or $10 on pre-order. But it's a good one, I think. Like, just a kind of Eternal Witness card. It can be very powerful. And the fact it's like a 3/4 Vigilance, not a 2/2 or whatever E-Witness is. It's an elf, so it works with elf ball stuff, etc., etc. Lots of stuff to like about this Emeritus. So I am happy to have it. No! Giant Growth, no! It's a funny Giant Growth, so I'll take it. One of the goofier Mystical Archives arts. Ooh! Foil Azia, Mage Tower Captain. A red and a white for a 2/2 Djinn Sorcerer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may tap 3 untapped creatures you control. If you do copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. Get one of those spells that makes tokens, tap those tokens to copy stuff. Question mark, profit. She's fun. I like her. Seems neat. Good play, team. Now let's run it again till it's perfect. Yeah, I like the lore hold cards. I like all of the schools, basically, in terms of, like, their takes on color identity. Quick Study, a good one to have. Did I order a Quick Study? I might not have. So, I don't know. Happy to have a Quick Study. Unsettle Mockery and stuff. Or yeah, we've hit most things, I think, at this point. We have Teacher's Pest, a black and a green with a 1/1 for a 1/1 Skeleton Pest with Menace. When this creature attacks, you gain 1 life, and for a black and a green, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a reassembling skeleton or whatever, or maybe I said the correct skeleton. It's one of those recursive skeletons. It is good. It is Menace. It has more keywords and more text than all of the other ones. So it's worth the green pep. And yeah, good skeleton. Quillblade oh, it has double strike. Oh, it has double strike. Oh, sorry, I'm just thinking of Connive double strike 1/1 that I'm totally blanking on. It's not as good as that card. Twofold Intent Sorcery, target creature gets 1/1/0 and double strike until end of turn. Maybe that makes up for the Connive? No. No, it doesn't. This card is so close to being really good. I mean, maybe with repartee trigger stuff it gets there, your Scorn Mage just hits them for 1,000,000. It does enter prepared, so you can do this 4 mana to get your Scorn Mage double striking. I mean, it's probably worth testing out. It's just an uncommon. Ooh, interesting. I missed this one entirely in, like, looking at Scryfall, so neat. Pensive Professor, 1 a blue and a blue for an 0/2 with increment, and whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on this creature, draw a card. Sure, we love to draw a card. It's so much better than not drawing a card. Very pretty, Braid. Very pretty, Braid. Did I see this Braid already? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. It's great. Do I like it more than the Dominic Meyer Braid, which is... Maybe, I might. The Dominic Meyer Braid is so good and iconic to me, but I just like this lady's vibe, and it's a little, I don't know, there's something to be said for that, versus the just sort of generic violence of Dominic Meyer's Braid. Generic violence is underselling it. Like, Dominic Meyer Braid, excellent also. But yeah, I don't know. She seems cool. Cards. Magical cards. Rapier, wit, and stuff. How fast can we go? How fast can we go? Tam, we haven't hit Tam yet, I don't think. 2 a green and a blue for a legendary creature Gorgon Wizard, Pauper Commander, an uncommon. She's a 4/3 with landfall. Whenever Tam, a land you control enters, Tam becomes prepared, and she can cast Deep Sight for a green and a blue, a sorcery with draw a card and gain a life. She is bad Tatyova, which is a good thing, question mark? Or, yeah, so Tatyova is 5 mana, and you don't have to pay for the draw card gain a life off of landfall with Tatyova. But Tatyova also in, like, Pauper EDH especially, makes you a giant target, and is extremely powerful and stuff. Tam can maybe do the, what is it, there's like Sir Conrad makes you a huge target, but then there's also a big dog that has Sir Conrad text and people just are less aware of. Tam might be that to Tatyova, and then also, Tam does give you cast triggers, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't probably make up for, like, it being 2 mana instead of free, but it's a different angle to build around. And I think that's neat. I definitely am happy to have a Tam to work with. We have talked about the Soloist and the Almonds. Oh, a Storm-Carved Coast. This land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. I forgot that this land cycle was a thing. I'll take it. I like it when my mana is good. And Return the Favor, another OTJ card. Interesting to see them reprinting stuff from recent sets, kind of in this way. Oh, this is the redirect thing that I meant to, like, redirect or copy thing, that I meant to experiment with way more than I have. Yeah, or I think maybe that's not true. Maybe I tried it like a couple times and went, no. It's very pretty though. Spellbook Seeker is the card draw common thing. Next pack. Efflorescence, 2 and a green for an instant. Put 2/1/1 counters on target creature. If you gained life, trample into indestructible. Spirit Mascot. Topiary Lecturer, 2 and a green. Pardon a hiccup. 2 and a green for a 1/2 elf druid with increment, and tap to add an amount of green equal to this creature's power. Oh, this is real Kami of Whispered Dreams or whatever. The Kami that taps to add mana equal to its power, and I don't think it can grow itself. I can remember that Kami exists because it's one of the cards I sold to, or traded in to get this box. So, shoutouts to getting a replacement for that, I guess. I assume this will also be worth money, because that Kami was also an uncommon, and I don't know, maybe I just sold that Kami at the right time, or traded it in at the right time. Anyway, interesting pull. Stress Dream was the deal 5 card advantage. Sure. 5 mana, it's a bit much, but... Flashback for a single red. Target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. Flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. Happy to have a flashback, cause it's flashback. It's cool. I like it. I think it's neat. Ooh, Locust Spray. Oh, hell yeah. Single black for an instant with target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, and cycling. I love this card. I unironically think Locust Spray is very good, because it's either a cantrip or it kills Llanowar elves. Or whatever, like, either it is punching way above its weight in terms of removal, or like it's very good and serviceable removal, or you can draw a card, and that's cool and good. Yeah, happy to have a very pretty Locust Spray. Then we have an Imperious Ink Mage or a foily one. Full Art Plains, whee! Fractal. We're almost there. Almost there. This is going to be so long, this video. Maybe I'll speed myself up by 5% or whatever, just to make it slightly less horrendous. I don't know, do people like this? I assume someone must like this question mark. Grapple with Death. Is this the first Grapple with Death? Destroy target artifact or creature, gain a life. It's just a murder or whatever, but it's common, good for paupery things. And yeah, or pauper EDH. And no, it's good. Harsh Annotation, destroy target creature, make an Inkling, instant speed, another sort of, not Beast Within, Stroke of Midnight kind of card, Stroke of Midnight, whatever, it's one of those. Probably not that good for standard, because like giving your opponent a flyer is tough, but good piece of removal in other formats. Molten Note, X, a red and a white, deals damage equal to the amount of mana spent to cast the spell, untap all creatures you control. I don't like that it can't go to face, but I like that for some reason your Fireball just untaps stuff and gives things vigilance. Cool. Another Topiary Lecturer. A non-foil Azia. Aziza, pardon me. Ooh, I haven't seen this Disdainful Stroke. Counter target creature spell with mana value 4 or greater. The clever mage knows that it does not take strength to overcome the enemy, but creativity and intelligence. Force of Negation, a study in counter magic. Sorry, Forces of Negation. That's very cutesy. Or like, yeah, anyway. Interesting art style, or it's yeah, Mystical Archives continuing to be bangers. Or, yeah, very, very pretty and stuff. Send in the past. 1 and a black for each opponent discards a card. You create a 1/1 black pest token. mass discard in multiplayer formats. They don't print that super often, so that's kind of interesting for like a commander discard deck or whatever. Yeah, not good in standard, but it is fine. Don't worry about it. Worm? Worm? Pigment Wrangler. 4 and a red for an orc sorcerer with flying. It's a 4/4. Enters prepared, and for 1 red, it can cast Striking Palette. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, you may copy that spell. Oh, I wish it had a way to re-prepare. It would be more, yeah, I don't know. That would probably be like gross and limited if it could, but the me that's like Pauper EDH brain or whatever and wants it to be a value engine. Either way, just like copying a thing pretty good, or like has my attention. Dissection Practice. Single black for an instant with the target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Up to 1 target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and the thing loses. Oh, they -1/-1 until end of turn. Life gain stapled onto Azusa Always Lies was a recent one that put a counter on a thing instead of just being pump. But this is life gain. I don't know. Interesting to get another one of these. Another rapturous moment. Traumatic Critique. X, a blue and a red for instant, deals X to any target, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Just very good, or like very serviceable is it removal / card advantage. Oh, yo, me popping off about an uncommon. This Pick Your Poison is sick. Also, Pick Your Poison is sick in general. So, single green, choose 1. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact of their choice. Each opponent sacrifices an enchantment of their choice. Or each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying of their choice. Great commander card or whatever. And then this art rules. Yeah, also good sideboard card in some formats too, like, very, very neat. Oh, Abigail. Nice. Foily Abigail. Generic, a white and a black for 2/3 legendary creature, Bird Bard, Pauper EDH commander. Flying, whenever you cast a creature spell, Abigail becomes prepared, and her prepared spell is Heroic Stanza, a sorcery, just puts a 1/1 counter on something. Not like one of the spicier, prepared uncommon legends, but a very, like, solid sort of workhorse one, enables repartee, etc., etc. Happy to have a foil Abigail. My voice is starting to go because I've been talking for too goddamn long about Magic cards. Yeah, like I said, this set rules. I can't help that the cards are cool and good. More tokens. Deluge Virtuoso. Yeah, you were the combat trick. You were, the thing. Me forgetting things we've already talked about. Eternal Student. Is it Doomed Dissenter or whatever you can exile to make tokens? Kind of one of those, but it's a 4/2 because it's 4 mana, and seems great in limited anyway. Sky Whale. Instant or sorcery +3/+0. That's very large. Or like a big, is Kiln Fiend? Kiln Fiend is +3/+0, right? Anyway, sorry, put 3/1/1 counters if you opus. Big Whale. Colossus of the Blood Age, 4 red, white for a 6/6 artifact creature construct. When it ETBs, deal 3 damage to each opponent, and you gain 3 life when it dies. Discard any number of cards and then draw that many cards +1. I like this Colossus. I don't know if it's good enough to play anywhere, but I think it's neat. Magma Blood Archaic, the horrific hybrid pip things, the 2 generic or a red, 2 generic or a red, 2 generic or a red, for a 2/2 trample or each with Converge. Enters with the counter for each thing. Colors and words are hard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn for each color of mana spent to cast that spell. It's sort of another Balmor. I don't think this will see play in Standard because Balmor has never mattered in Standard, but Balmor is a really good card. Red and blue for a 1/3? 1/2? Flying Bird. +1 gives creatures +1/+0 and trample when you cast stuff. And yeah, Balmor kills people in other formats. So don't hate having a Magma Blood Archaic. Hop to it with the good rabbits. Fractal Tender, are you interesting? At the beginning of each end step, if you put a counter on this creature this turn, make a thing. Put 3 counters on it. I mean, you're kind of interesting. My reading getting increasingly lazy as we're nearing the end here. Is that 2 packs left? Yeah, 2. Or there's this one and then 2 more. I have no idea if people will like the way that I open packs or whatever, or the way I talk about them, but that's fine. This is for me in a real way. Hopefully the good camera helps. I know one of the issues with the Pauper deck techs is the camera setup was annoying or whatever. Zaphi, and the Tempests. 5, a blue and a red for legendary creature Human Bard Sorcerer. It's 5/7. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. Bum, 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 bum. Goofy commander card, brackets affectionate. We love free spells. Postmortem Professor, 1 into black for a 2/2. A zombie warlock, can't block. Whenever it attacks, it drains the opponent for 1. And exile an 1 into black, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Return it to the battlefield. Good little recursive threat. Ooh, pretty Feed the Swarm. Yeah, fancy Mystical Archives Feed the Swarm. Destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent's mana value. I'm pretty sure I don't have a Feed the Swarm, so solid, workhorse bit of removal to get. Good staple to have. Or Necroscribe, a foily thing. Sorry, my brain shut off for a second. Is this anything? Repartee, return a thing to the battlefield. That's a big uncommon, or this is an uncommon that can do some spicy stuff. It's 6 mana, so, maybe you reanimate your reanimation engine or something. But the Form Necroscribe's a cool card, actually. Yeah, I don't know, I'm happy with this set, or these pulls and stuff, I think. Gotten a ton of cards. We had the spicy, fancy foil archaic, which is cool and good. And a bunch of other cards that I either really like or can genuinely use in, videos and things. So that's a good. I am zooming through stuff. Can you tell that my voice is going and I wish to cease? 4 blue for a sorcery with return all instants and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. This card is cool and good. I don't know. I'm just thinking about this in an Underworld Breach deck. Or as a backup Breach, where you cast this to rebuy things, and I mean, you could probably do this with Breach just to help. The horrible combo brain can't dwell on this for too long. Dina's... Oh, the tutor! 1 a black and a green for an instant. Search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand or graveyard, and then shuffle. Neat tutor. There's 1 or 2 cards that are like strictly better than this that I am blanking on for whatever reason. I mean, because it's getting towards midnight. But yeah, happy to have a cool tutor. Ooh, Triumph of the Hordes. 2 green for a sorcery. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1, and to gain trample and infect. Great art. Is this card worth money? I feel like... Sorry, I don't care a lot about... I'm not a big, like, MTG finance person in a general sense. I get the vibe that this is a commander card that will kill people, which is why I'm like, is it cash? But anyway, cool Mystical Archives pull. Will I edit prices into any card pulls? Probably not. Blue Emeritus with Ancestral Recall in the final pack. Let's go. I mean, we won't, but imagine if we did. That would be a wild thing to just, like, make up. Sorry, Graduation Day enchantment with Repartee. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So you can have backup non-creature Scorn Mage, but backup Scorn Mage effect. Is that... this might be good? Question mark? Emil Witherbloom Charm. Tester of the Tangential, 1 and a blue for a 1/1 Djinn Wizard with Increment. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay X. When you do, move X 1/1 counters from this creature onto another creature. Oh, it's like weird graft. Beginning of combat means there's not like huge combo potential. Graft can do some weird things. Interesting one. Anyway. Exhibition Tidecaller's the rare. Single blue for an 0/2 Djinn Wizard with Opus. Whenever you cast it... Oh, this is the horrible mill card. Or, sorry. Instant or sorcery, mill 3, 5 or more, mill 10. I hate mill, if you're unfamiliar with the channel and or my vibes. The reason I hate mill, I won't go super into it, is that I just think it's balanced way more generously than burn. But if mill gets to, you know, one-shot people or whatever, let me fireball people. But anyway. Repel Calamity. Foily Page. And yeah, no. And that is the box of Strixhaven. That is all the cards. I bought some bonus packs of MH3 alongside this because the cards I traded in were worth more than I expected. Sorry, this is just a random thing at the end. I sort of wish I saved them to open on camera. The pulls are not crazy, but I opened a 6, a Ral Monsoon Mage, an Ulamog the Defiler, and a foil Springheart Nantuko, and a Warren Soul Trader, which I'm very happy with basically all of those. Or like they're all cool cards. So I don't know. The MH3 packs like paid for themselves anyway, which, you know, it's neat. I have no idea. At some point, I indexed my collection on Moxfield, so I, like, track everything, which is part of how I knew I had enough to, like, trade in and do this and yada yada yada. So I have a lot of work ahead of me in terms of, like, organizing all this and, collating it and stuff. I guess I could have arranged it as it's fine. Where was I going with that? No, it'll be interesting to get everything punched in and see what the spicy pulls are and stuff. Maybe I should do that before I edit this video. I don't know. If you liked this, I guess let me know, like, subscribe, etc. Lately for comments, I've been setting them so only people who are subscribed to the channel can comment, cause I like that. It makes comments less weird and stressful for me and my brain. I'm totally blanking. How does one YouTube again? Thank you for watching. Card Trader, Patreon, cringy YouTube stuff, yeah, I don't know. Thanks, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, how do you... Bye! Thank you for watching the video, and an extra big thank you to the Patreon patrons and YouTube members that help make these videos possible. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.